CHICKEN. Use the code CHICKEN in the shop.
Hey guys, the Chicken is here. Welcome back to your season, another Boom Beach video, but in today's video, guys, we got your season 80 tech tree guide. We're going to do everything that you guys need to know to get off to a good start in this season. So it's very defensive, and we'll go over all the tech tree stuff in a moment, but if you haven't already, guys, appreciate if you take a second just to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to try to crank this out before work. We got a bit of a time crunch this morning, but we'll get you off on the right foot. And big shout out to anyone throwing that code check in the shop. You're going to grab instant training for this season. So, all right, let's start it out. So we just grabbed another 2 chests there, all in iron so far. So let's talk about what we've done so far to get to this point, as we're on a nice little win streak right now. So this season has really been all about the defense. The defensive stuff to open has been very important. And something to keep in mind, guys, throughout the entire season is your upgrade tokens. Make sure you manage those properly because it's going to be in a very expensive tech tree in upgrade tokens and in total key cost. So if we jump ahead here before we get into this stuff, we look at the very end of the tech tree, 48 keys, 48 keys, 48 keys, 38 keys for everything else. Very, very, very expensive. 40 key vacuums are fairly common this season, especially towards the end. So not a lot of us are going to be able to get to the very end of the tech tree with most of the stuff unlocked. So just keep that in mind. And there's not a ton of multi-stat nodes, so I mean we are going to be spending upgrade tokens. When you do unlock Cryobomb, not that we need to know this for right now, but it does come as maxed, so you don't have to upgrade it. So what do we do that got us off on the right foot? Going defense is definitely the answer early on. Now, the troops that I'm using, which is just heavies, and everything that I just showed you plays a part in what I'm explaining here, so that's why I wanted to go over the full tech tree first. So we don't have rifles maxed out, and we will at some point, but heavy and rifle is definitely the meta for opening 3ER. I'm using only heavies because we can kind of get away with it, but having just that little DPS from the rifleman is definitely going to make a big difference. So it's definitely an option for you. You don't have to follow my path exactly. Is what I'm saying. Now, defenses and stuff, the more you can get, the better, but try to keep everything at tick 4. I still haven't maxed out building health yet, just to save those tokens for other stuff. So if we do want to get bombers next, we can go ahead and max them out. If we want to put some points to GB to get more tiny shocks, we have that ability as well. If we want to go all the way around the world and get flamethrowers, which I don't think is the right move. I think moving ahead, and once we get into some attacks here in a second, you'll see why. I think 4AR and Troop Health is going to be really important. It also puts us closer to the good stuff, right? We want to jump ahead this season as much as possible. We've got cryo bombs down here. We've got good stat nodes. We've got stronger defenses, troop damage, building health, heavy choppers. Of course, that's way down there, but all that stuff is going to be more important than picking up a couple defenses here and there. So I think that is going to be your best bet. So we had a couple fizzles on this base. So this base, I don't know if I'd recommend copying it, but if you have enough defense, it certainly has not been terrible. We got the odd fizzle on it, and even when they don't fizzle, it seems to take them quite a bit of time to get through. So it's worth a shot, and especially if you have mines, I think that's really where it shines. Otherwise, you can just kind of tiny shock all the machine guns and then just flare right through everything, since the engines are fairly close together. But let's go over some of the attacks. So I want to go over the attacks where they're not fizzling, so more so the last 3. All right, so let's take a look at Mr. Penguin here. So there's basically 2 attack strategies to focus on right now. So number 1, when they don't have mines, the most important defenses to shock are going to be single target, or machine guns that you're going to be sitting in for a long period of time. When they do have mines, you want to make sure that you're just using your tiny shocks on splash damage. And the reason is it's just too much splash damage if you have to run over all the mines as well. So machine guns, if there's no mines, shock those. Boom cannons and cannons, if there are no mines, shock those. Now, obviously, this one is different. He's got 5 machine guns in range, so we got to take a few of them down with the tiny shock, and we also had enough heavies left where it wasn't as big of an issue, so that one was a fairly easy one to walk through. But you will notice that pretty much everybody has building health, so... and yes, we're getting fizzles on defense, but it's also important to make sure that you play these attacks safe and that you're just finishing these bases, because it is very easy to fizzle right now, especially on those bases with mines and maxed out machine guns and that kind of stuff. They are deceptively strong. You'll just kind of look up and be like, oh, like look at how much damage those 2 machine guns would have done if we just let them sit there. So they do a lot of damage over time. Which one do we want to do next? I think we just did that one with those Sergi. We showed Penguin. Let's go Romov. So this guy's got mines. Now this base was different. So I actually decided to go up the right side first and just completely wipe that out. Just because he didn't have a ton of defense there. We could save up some GBE. And then I think the plan was just to clear the front a little bit here. So just a little free clearing and then flaring. Now, obviously with Heavy Rush, you're going to want to flare straight away at the engine rooms first, right? But that's not necessarily always the best choice, especially with mines and with compacted bases and whatnot. Just make sure that you have enough tiny shocks to shut stuff down first, because otherwise you can see even with basically everything tiny shocked here, Heavy's still taking some pretty significant damage, but we were able to come away with it even though we had less stats than this guy did. So let's look at the last one. So this one was a little trickier. Now, the biggest thing here was he had no mines up top on the left side. So I looked at this like, okay, we'll use a couple tiny shocks there. I really wanted to make sure we had enough tiny shocks for those machine guns at the very end, because I knew we were going to be walking over a lot of mines at that point. So the first part was really just farming gunboat energy, letting them take out the engines, obviously, and just kind of walking through the base without taking too much splash damage. You can see I'm not really as worried about the boom cannon picking off the odd heavy. Just one of them isn't going to take down too many. I just want to make sure that the group of them is relatively in the green and healthy. Then we got the big long walk over here with tick 3 flares. It is a lot of flares, so you got to manage your gunboat energy. Even with taking out all that crap up top, we only had enough for like 1 or 2 tiny shocks at the very end. So, yeah. So there's your Season 80 starting guide, guys. I do hope that that helps you out. And just to recap, here is exactly the way we've gone. Basically just bottom path straight up to 4 yard. And I think we're going to open 4 next. But I wanted to do this video. The reason I didn't play right now is I want to do this video just going over 3, just the starting stuff to help you guys out. So I hope that does help you guys out. Let me know what's working for you down below in the comments. And yeah, thank you guys for watching. Appreciate you. Catch you next one. Check it out. Back.